Okay, folks, welcome. We're on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, as well as Telegram. And so I'm going to start our 5 minute countdown, and then we will play the intro sequence, and we will begin our show. Tonight is open mic night. So we have a call in line. If anybody wants to call in, that will be displayed on the overlay on the screen for the remainder of the show, and we'll be monitoring that as well. So let me begin the countdown, and then we'll start after that. Welcome, folks. Today we're gonna have open mic night. Somebody I think just tried calling into our line, so did not answer because we're doing the countdown still. But if you're watching and you want to call in again and try again, it would be we're more than welcome to. It's the 603 number, 603-716. If you're watching, please call in if you like. We're having open mic night, so I don't know if that was it or related, but we'll find out. Anyway, so today's gonna have a good show. We got Candace Edwards with us, Jennifer Callentine, Jessica Durham. We're gonna have like open mic roundtable, and people can call in if they so choose to do. Today's topic is what would you do to end the corruption? So that's kind of where we're gonna start as far as the subject, but it's open mic, so we can really kind of be all over the place and talk about really whatever. But that's the main theme. I would love to hear what you guys would do to end the corruption if you had the ability. What do you think we need to do so? So let's play our little bonfire intro here for our store, and then we'll start, you guys. Let me share my screen. There we go. Oh, hold up. I can't hear it. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? You guys can't hear that, can you? No. All right, hold on. It's because I got my headset on, my Bluetooth headset. That's why. All right, try this again. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, folks, welcome. We're doing an open mic roundtable tonight. The main question we'd love to hear from you guys is what would you do to end the corruption? So we would love to hear from anybody. So I think Candace said she's got some good info. So you want to start with that? Let's go ahead and would you like to tell our viewers what you got, Candace?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
No, sorry about the way I look.
Oh no, you're fine. I think a lot of us are usually just kind of winging it, you know. I had barely literally put on my tie last minute, like right before the countdown ended. I almost forgot to put it on.
Hey, yeah, it's all right. So, just a little bit about how the conversation got brought up. The county where I got in trouble with, and the county that I've actually got a federal class action against for the two-tiered bonding system. They're actually trying to double jeopardy me. Okay. With that being said, I went to some of my constitutional law groups that I'm on part of with Telegram, and apparently, the way that our parents are going to be able to get the children out of the foster care system And it doesn't matter if your child's adopted, your rights have been terminated or anything. Like literally, the state has no part of being anything with your children, even though they have the parents Patriot Act or whatever. It's actually you, the individual, and our creator. What it is, I don't know if y'all can see me, but I'm hopefully y'all can still see me. I'm gonna read something to you.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. The guy that I've been talking to, he's the group leader or whatever. And like I said, I was telling him the issues that I got going on, and this is what he said. Because I told him, I was like, he said, there are a few ways that we can actually play this on the double jeopardy issue. We can either do the squeeze play or take out their financial incentive on the case for both at the same time. Either way, it will squash this double jeopardy. Then we can focus on restoration of property with the children. Common law is going to be the only way you're going to be able to get your children back. Period. Point blank.
I agree. Common law.
When it comes to the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and these judges know it, these prosecutors know it, these lawyers know it. The only reason why they don't go by it is because of the fact that they're under the bar. Okay. Hold on. He said, then we can focus on the restoration property with the kids. He said he learned this one from the best in the business, and that was Carl Lentz. It's the squeeze play is the Carl Lentz method. It's been used in traffic courts, which we all know traffic courts, there's no such thing. It's all that fake court, really, honestly. But it can be used in criminal court or civil court as well. There's a video you can actually go look up on YouTube. It's the Carl Lentz 126, a simple way with the to win in traffic court. Okay. Also, he said that this method can be used in any court. It don't matter what the court is. He says you can you say this in court, double jeopardy, and it goes away. What is important to know is there are no criminal laws. So as far as your crimes go, if you've not injured somebody, like an actual individual, a live, breathing individual, or an intent to injure, what is called a corpus delicti, there's absolutely no crime. Because what it is you got to go in front of the courts and get your accuser to say, I'm the one that accused you of this crime. If there's not anybody, and if let's say, okay, for instance, I'm going to use Rainbow City because that's where I live.
You're talking about the right to face your accuser, basically.
Yeah, Rainbow City is supposed to be my accuser, but the thing is, they're an entity. They're a corporation. Corporations cannot interact with the live, breathing human being, period. Okay? They're
not supposed to be able to, at least. I know that in certain, I know that certain corporations actually are regarded as individuals, and at least regarding taxes, I know that much. So, like, what I'm thinking here is that they're trying to extend that. It looks like into color of law, like to kind of smear that, like confuse the issue. At least it was what it's looking like to me. They're like really pushing it.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what they're doing. It's the conspiracy of the color law and the deprivation of rights of color law. I apologize. And that's going to be the 18 USC 241, 18 USC 242. If anybody needs those codes regulations. Also, when it comes to like your codes, statutes, rules, your penal codes, your WIC codes, those are not laws at all. Point blank. Your laws is going to be your Constitution, your Bill of Rights. That is what your laws are. That is what you go by. When you go to court, you got to be able to tell that judge and show that judge what your status is. Because if you don't, then they're going to treat you just like a quote unquote person, legalese. But if you go in that court and you tell them, I am the beneficiary of John Doe, okay, and I'm also the executor of this trustee, the CCQB trust account, that right there lets them know, okay, well, they're not the trustee. They're not the ones supposed to be going to jail or anything like that. And to be honest with you, your judges are the ones that are actually the trustees. And trustees are the ones that can be sentenced to go to jail. Now, by default, all courts are statutes or statutory courts dealing in codes, aka legalese. And they only have jurisdiction over a person and absolutely no jurisdiction over a man, a living, breathing individual, a soul, okay? When you, a person, know how to flip your status from a person to a man in that court, man will win his case each and every time. To take away the financial incentive, which every time you go to court, they're dipping from your trust funds, okay? Your trust fund automatically, anytime you give somebody your social security number, they're taking from it. It don't matter what it is. And that's what, I don't know if y'all heard me talking a little bit last week about the W-4 sandwiches. And that's what that's about. We'll get.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
I've got 3 pages right here that I want to read. And what this is it's when you are in court, how to avoid the criminal charges and the CESUQB. The approach of handling your court case is used when you have not flipped in the court or flipped the court in to the Queen's Bench, okay? That's common law court. CESUQB is pronounced Ses to K, I'm sorry, V. I say CESUQB. It sounds weird trying to look at, when you were trying to pronounce a word. But anyways, you must understand that most courts now are councils of witchcraft, okay? Now, there are 3 important things that a witch is used. That's your fear, name, and identity. If you have been in a courtroom, one thing you'll find is that the judge always, always, always needs a name to proceed. The judge says, please state your name. The court uses a lot of the Latin language, just like the Roman Catholic Church. Notice how the witches in Harry Potter movies use Latin for their spells.
Mm-hmm.
Latin is an important language for witchcraft. A warlock priest of Saturn, a judge, must have your name to summon you, order you, steal your identity, and get you incriminate yourself. If you comply regarding your name as indicated on your birth certificate, citizenship, social security, passport, identity card, driver's license, bank card, credit cards, you have already lost, and you certainly won't win your case. But if you don't give your name, you'll go to jail. So how do we not comply and void jail?
Right.
Represent yourself and you speak about yourself in third person, okay? When the judge asks for your name, you must always ask back. Are you referring to the trust of John Doe? Often you should answer a question with another question. You must understand that your name is a trust and it has money attached to it, which you have little, let's say, no access to. Not the cash side of it anyways. A trust has 3 persons: the beneficiary, the trustee, and executor, okay? Legally, one person cannot act as all 3 in a trust. The judge is supposed to be a public trustee acting for the state, defendant, the plaintiff, etc. But the judge wants to trick you into switching your rightful role. A trustee can only take the orders. The judge and or prosecutor wants to fool you into being the trustee of your own trust. That's a SEQV account.
Go ahead, Kenneth. So we're listening. I just had to share it out because I couldn't during the countdown. Facebook app wouldn't let me share it like I normally do from there. I had to do it a roundabout way. It was really weird. Anyways.
You're fine.
I'm just sharing out the podcast to our groups and stuff. That's all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm actually got to fix my little stand over here. Like I said, I had just jumped in because you.
Oh no, you're fine.
So,
I know we're all like rushing to do it last minute. I know it's like scramble, quick scramble.
All right. Let's see. We'll do it just like this. Hold on. No, just hold it.
That'll work too.
There it goes. Okay. All right. Judge and the prosecutor wants to fool you into being the trustee of your own trust account. Okay. You must declare John Doe is indeed in the courtroom. When your name is called, never answer here, present, or that's me, or even raise your hand. You must not be the trustee. You must assert your position as the beneficiary. You must then say to the judge, you or the clerk are appointed the trustee of this account. Are you not? Then you say, I am the beneficiary and executor in this case. Am I not? This lets the judge know that you know your true status. If you don't do this, you're giving tacit silent permission for the judge or prosecutor to take the role as the beneficiary executor. And you're putting yourself in the position of trustee. The trustee can then be ordered to do anything, even go to jail. The SEQV trust is established by the birth certificate. And many know that the birth certificate is actually a monetized document that has trade value. The courts know that every person has a hidden trust attached to him or her. The courts use the monetary value of these trust agents against the person, you. The courts almost always operate with the motive of making money. Whoever raises charges, the plaintiff must pay for the use of the court. So, lawyers and judges trick defendants into giving tacit approval to use money of their own legal trust, SEQV, to cover court costs and then even jail costs. So when they do that, they are actually double dipping into your accounts, because when you go to jail, and oftentimes when you go to court, oftentimes you're fine. Your court case is already paid for. And then they go and they actually take your dollar bills. Once the judge and the prosecuting lawyer sees that you're aware of their trickery, they will most likely throw your case out. They do this because they no longer have any financial motive.
Right. Because they can't trick you.
Right. Absolutely.
That's brilliant. You know, I was wondering how you do that, because like I know that we've noticed that in like a lot of these cases with Angie's case, for example, and we've been like, how do you get around that? But that's brilliant. Like that's very, very valuable to our viewers and to, you know, a lot of people that are on. Even I know Jessica was asking me to send her a copy, so we're definitely going to do that, because that's such valuable information to have, because we've been trying to figure that out. So you seem to have figured it out. That's just great.
Oh, honey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've got a plan, and we've all got to stick together to make it work.
Oh, trust me, I've got a plan too. Not necessarily with the angle that you guys are doing, but I got a plan to take down big tech censorship. So I'm gonna take their business from them. I've been gloating about it for a minute, but I'm working on something to do just that.
Good deal. Awesome. Now you have to take away the covert use of your own hidden money. Remember, this all hinges on how you handle your own name. What you are doing is keeping yourself shielded from most criminal charges. for anything short of a murder or serious theft. The worst that can happen is that your case will be moved from criminal to civil or common law court, which obviously we should always be in common law court. Remember, the courts always practice ancient witchcraft going back to Babylon. There are some variations on the rules that the court will take. Remember, witches act like demons, possessing bodies and taking false identities. Sometimes the court clerk acts as a trustee and the prosecutor acts as the executor. The judge may act as the administrator, but then the prosecuting lawyer steals the role of beneficiary from the defendant. The important thing is that you never act as the trustee. The trustee has no control whatsoever. Many don't realize that the courts are based on Masonic, Roman Catholic, Kabbalistic, or Babylonian witchcraft. It has clerics, and the priests of Saturn in black, which is your judges. The word prosecutor really refers to the identity theft. Prosecutor really means to stand in the place of another skin. Pro se is place of, and cuter is skin. This is not what your dictionary will say. It's controlled also by the witchcraft gatekeeper. A summon really refers to demons. A court writ is like a church writ or bull. CCQB means proof of law. This goes back to the CCQB Trust Act of 1666 in Britain. Before that goes back to baptismal records of the Roman Catholic Church. Now, to get your kids back, you need to do the restoration of property, okay? Hold on. Make sure I'm not missing anything off of this. Okay, no, I'm not. Okay. I just had to make sure. Now, you can also do a fair warning. And what that is, and you actually have to hand write this out, okay? How to write a fair warning notice for the suit. Always write notice by hand, i.e. handwritten. Copy exactly the text below the dotted line as they appear. And I'll send all this to you. And it says, what's in capital letters must be written in capital letters. Update text in red. Man does not need to sign the notice because his own handwriting says a living, breathing human being is the author and is physically present in court to handle the claim. Give a copy of this notice each to the judge, the court clerk, and prosecutor. The judge, when seeing a man is in court invoking the Queen's bench, will advise the prosecutor to drop the case. Exclamation. You're supposed to give them 21 days to answer the lawsuit. On the 22nd day, you're going to start charging them because within those 21 days, they have an opportunity to make a settlement on the private side. So on the 22nd day, you start charging them in district court and you move for trial by jury. You will get your property back very quickly because the compensation can come up to a total hefty of $86,400 per every 24-hour day. And this is how you write it. You have the date at the top. It's done in red. You have the man's address. It's done in red. Number 1, I am a man or woman, John Doe. The name needs to be in red. Gave no entity known as the, in my case, it would be DHR. Other cases, DCFS, CPS. We all know that it all falls up underneath the same thing, but make sure that's done in red and it's capitalized as well. The right to administrate my property. Number 2, I say that son or daughter, which needs to be red, Cutie is my property. Number 3, I say that no man or woman will make a claim saying that my claim is not true. Number 4, I require my property restored to me. Number 5, said property is to the total under of my control post haste within 7 days. Number 6, I will charge the wrongful holder of said property $1 per second for every second when the said property is not returned, starting on the 22nd day after they have received this summons and this suit. And it says, see the attached claim. Now, what the claim says, and you have to do the same thing, capitalize what needs to be capitalized. If it's in red, you write it in red. But what this says, you have the date, it's in red, man's address in red. I, a man, John Doe, red. Dear Judge, Judge is capitalized. Of, name of court is in red, it's also capitalized. Number 1, I require the immediate restoration of my property. Number 2, I require you to restore my property immediately. Number 3, I will bill you $1 per second for every second as fair and just compensation that my property is in your possession. You do not sign either one of these documents. Again, they have to be handwritten. They cannot be typed up. And that is how you get your children. These 2 documents have been used all over the world.
Oh, wow. And you said they have to be handwritten?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Now that the notice, you actually have to give that. Like I said, you have to give that to the judge, the circuit clerk, and the prosecutor. That judge knows when you go and you tell him this stuff, he knows what you're saying. He knows the law. And if that prosecutor starts arguing, that judge is going to sit there. The law, you got to do what the law says. And if the judge does not, the judge is in treason. Right then and there, he gets taken off the bench. And guess what? We all know what treason is. That is death. And I'm telling you right now. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you right now. And that's what we need to start doing. These judges, these lawyers, the ones that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
I agree. We need to be harsh with this. We cannot tolerate this kind of freaking abuse of power.
No, we cannot. And it is up to we the people. Okay. Yep. We the people are the ones that can actually change this around. It is up to us.
And folks, I want to use a real life example of if for anybody that may say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. What can we do? We're not in power. Well, there's a whole lot we can do. Just look at all the pushback, we provided about the whole, CV-19 narrative the last couple of years. And now what are they doing? They're dropping all the mandates. Why do you think that is? Because we provided pushback and we weren't going to have it. We, the people, have the power. We just need to exercise it.
Now, here's some case law that I want to read to everybody. And there's actually quite a few. So if y'all don't, mind, just bear with me.
You're fine. Real quick, because I knew Jen had a little thing she wanted to do. Are you ready for that, Jen, for your little segment here, just to kind of come on in? Hello, we can wait. Anyways, she's not ready yet. She's still getting ready. Go ahead.
All right. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, ordained and established by the people. All legislation must conform to the principles it lays down. That's United States versus Butler. Federal law and Supreme Court cases apply to the state court cases. Griffin versus Matthews. Every state law must conform in the first place to the Constitution of the United States, then to the subordinate constitutions, that's your state constitutions, your statutes, your rules, your penal codes and things like that. And then to the subordinate constitutions of the particular state. And if it infringes upon the provisions of either, it is so far void. Houston versus Moore. Now, reasonable cause or probable suspicion that a suspect has or is about to commit a crime involving a victim, injury, or damage to persons or property is required to stop, detain, question, or demand identification from a motorist. Pretextual traffic stops are a violation of the Fourth Amendment. That's United States versus Eldridge. Here's another one you want to know. This is how you know that all this crime that everybody's getting charged with is not actual crimes. Like mine, Personal possession of a forged instrument of $75 is not a crime. For a crime to exist, there must be an actual or intended injured party. Corpus delicti. Share versus Colon. Now, there's no such thing as a failure to identify. You can actually sue the police for an illegal arrest and resist arrest with impunity. Okay? Now, an illegal arrest is an assault and battery. The person so attempted to be restrained of his liberty has the same right to use force in defending himself as he would repelling any other assault or battery. And you can actually go back and sue these police officers for assault and battery. That's State versus Robinson. Each person has the right to resist an unlawful arrest. In such case, the person attempting to arrest stands in the position of a wrongdoer and may be resisted by the use of force, as in self-defense. That's State versus Mobley. One may come to the aid in another being unlawfully arrested, just as he may where one in being assaulted, molested, raped, or kidnapped. Thus, it is not an offense to liberate one from the unlawful custody of an officer, even though he may have submitted to such custody without resistance. That's Adams versus State. These principles apply as well to the officer attempting to make an arrest, who abuses his authority and transcends the bounds thereof by the use of unnecessary force and violation, as they do as a private individual who unlawfully uses such force and violence. Jones versus State. Police officers can only ask for your identification when an investigation is underway and you are a part of it. Therefore, when they hinder you, they are saying that you are under investigation. Their car lights and sirens are to only go on if there's an investigation. Therefore, they must identify you, the investigation, and your part in it. This is why you ask them, what is the probable cause? I knew someone who was hindered from their travels, and they asked the COP, which is the constable on patrol, for their probable cause. First, they will hesitate. Let's face it, they're not used to you asking them that. They were in a shore town during off-season. The cops said that they were break-ins in people's houses to steal their televisions, and that they were being done by boat. Well, the person was just entering the foot of the bridge to go out to the town, nowhere near the shoreline where the boats would dock. They were not in a boat or near a boat or going to the direction of the boat. In fact, they were going in the opposite direction of the boat. Therefore, the opposite direction to what was supposedly being investigated, clearly they were not the object or the subject of such investigation. They were able to part their way with no occurrence. Now, illegal search. If they ask, do you mind if they search your car? Say no. You cannot search without a search warrant. If you pay attention, they always ask you if you mind. They know they have to get your consent. Usually people agree to the search out of fear or from the fact that they see them as the authority. However, they are within the bounds, limits, and protocols because they are for the purpose of upholding the law, keeping the peace, protecting the citizens, and preserving the rights of the people. See the Peace on Earth, Law Enforcement Ethics on the open reading page. Owen versus Independence. Officers of the court have no immunity when violating the constitutional right from liability, for they are deemed to know the law. Hofsummer versus Hayes. The courts are not bound by an officer's interpretation of the law under which he presumes to act. You will find if you speak to an intelligent tone and ask the intelligent questions according to the law, you will get a different response. You must remain within the bounds of the law at all times. Some patrolmen rather private security guards for the corporations, foreign as a law enforcement. You will actually say, or they will actually say to you, I will tell you why I'm stopping you after you show me your identification, your driver's license, registration, etc. That is not the lawful order. Besides a driver's license is not identification, and you have the right or liberty to travel upon the roads without it. It is an instrument for use in commercial activity. What that means, commercial activity means if you are getting paid to drive, okay, or you're actually transporting goods, people, individuals, like, or if you're a Uber or a taxi, that's when you actually have to have a driver's license. And to tell you the truth, when you have a driver's license and the insurance and the tax, that's actually saying you work for the state. It blew my mind when I found that out, because I'm sitting here thinking, hold up, you mean to tell me I work for this state and I'm not getting paid for doing this? So that, they kind of tripped me out. But a judge sees.
Well, yeah, they trick people. I think that's like, it's like they like they like to say ignorance of the law is no excuse, but yeah, at the same token, they're not really.
They don't even know the law,
right? And so what we're seeing is, like, I know there was one. I think I've seen a video of one guy who was showing how you could do that. How it was lawful that you don't need a driver's license, and he got pulled over and he did everything right, and they couldn't do nothing to him because he called it. And when the cop freaking radioed his boss, and yeah, the guy was right. Like, what you're saying was right. And most people don't know that, though, because we're not told that. We're not taught that. But yeah,
wow.
Keep going. That's brilliant. I didn't know you knew all that. That's fascinating. Keep going.
Honey, I've got a whole notebook right here that has case law. This is actually my driver's license book. And the only reason why I have this is because I don't have a driver's license. My driver's license has been revoked. So I'm constantly getting pulled over. My boyfriend was constantly getting pulled over. We literally got targeted by Rainbow City because they know we don't have a driver's license. So if they see us behind the seat of the wheel, they're pulling us over automatically. I've been waiting personally for them folks to be pulling me over, because I promise you, when they go to pull me over, my window is going to be cracked about this much. My doors are going to be locked. And that's the only way they're going to be able to talk to me. And I'm going to tell them, I want to speak to the sheriff, because the sheriff knows the law. He's supposed to. The sheriff's there to protect us.
Right. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. And speaking of which, that's actually a very good tip for anybody that is listening. If you get pulled over, don't have all your windows rolled down. Only crack them about an inch, 2 inches, and only do one.
Jessica had a question she put in the chat. She said, but to get my truck registered, I have to have a license, right? And insurance?
No.
Okay.
No. There's I've got it actually in the back of my book. Hold on.
She got this one too.
Yeah, because like people are wondering, how do you go about how does that work? Because like a lot of places at DMV, if you go do any of that, like you get your car registered, you have to freaking have your insurance and your license already situated. And so they make it almost impossible. So how do you get around that? Like in this circumstance,
so
like you're
what
saying?
you do is you print out the DMV form VTR-275 in Texas first. All other states have a similar DMV facility and process. The information that I have in my book is for Texas. That's because I actually got this from Rick Warren. He has a whole site, constitutional laws group.us. I suggest everybody to go there, because they have amazing information. They go by the Constitution. Like I said, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and it shows you how to talk to these people, how to talk to the judge, how to talk to the prosecutor. But it says go to the Austin, Texas Farmer Lane facility or the state you live in and tell them that you want a complete title history on your car. Give them your clear title so they can get all of the docs together on the automobile. What you will get is a complete title history on your car, including a copy of the MCO/MSO. Pay for the certified title history for $6.75 for each auto or similarly situated for the state that you're in. They will give you a packet that has their gold seal on it, and the MCO/MSO is at the back of it. Get a certified copy from the clerk that the MSO is a copy of the original. get that authenticated, just like you would your birth certificate at the Texas SOS. Now, don't take your birth certificate there, so don't get me, twisted. I was just, like how everybody's having to get their birth certificate authenticated, you're having to get your title authenticated. And it says, get it authenticated at the Texas SOS office. That's $15. Use the non-Hague country of the Indonesia. No need to do a WA, DCS, or DC's, SOS, as the Texas titles are here in Texas. Then do a I accept the deed affidavit on that certified copy of the title history. Then have a notary make a certified copies of that whole packet. Then go file one of the notary copies into the public records office and have them give you a certified copy of that public record and keep that in your car. Send a notice to the state where the records are kept on the car, notifying them that you now are the rightful owner of that said car. You are now the true and lawful owner, and the state of Texas no longer has any security. Again, this is for any state. This is just Texas information, okay?
Nice.
It says state of Texas no longer has any security interest in that car. I don't see how they could write you any ticket on the automobile with you being the sole owner. Currently, the state of all states has security interest in your automobile, thanks to the ignorant dealerships and fraudulent municipalities that mandate what those dealerships do with the automobile titles. Take your car title back. That's yours. And I would suggest everybody start looking into a trust as well, because you can put everything that you got in your trust, and guess what? They can't touch it at all. That's yours.
Good.
Like the judge can't even look at your trust. Huh?
Even child support can't touch it?
No. That child is yours. That's where the authenticating the birth certificate.
I want to read a comment real quick, you guys, by one of our viewers. I think was touching on when I said, what can we do, and then like I'm fighting back. And she said, it's much bigger than what you can imagine. It's so messed up. Easier said than done. One person can't make a difference, unfortunately. And I replied with, and I think this is important for a lot of people to hear because it can be really helpful. I think an individual can do a lot. You have no idea how much the individual can inspire and move others to do the same. And then I put in quotes, one of my favorite quotes. It only takes a few courageous individuals speaking out against tyranny to change the course of history. So I'll leave everybody with that.
I agree with that 100%. And like with the restoration of property, that's the common law. That's the only remedy you're gonna have. If you go in these maritime courts and these admiral and administrative courts, you're gonna be fighting these court years on down the road. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I hope that was helpful to our viewer, May, what we just commented on. I just wanted to, hopefully that gave you some insight, because we can do a lot, folks. I mean, the minute you concede defeat, that there's nothing you can do, is the minute the battle's over. Actually doing the work is half the battle. And so what a lot of people I know, I think a lot of people have the, I used to get tripped up on this too. It's like, it feels like we're not making a difference, a lot of the time. But what I noticed is that a lot of this, we're making a lot more of a difference than we realize. People have more of an impact than they really realize. And, and I think people need to recognize that we are more powerful than we give ourselves credit for.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you right now too, also, we the people have more power than a judge has. We have more power than the quote unquote president has. Okay. The way I call it the triangle of life, because in reality, that's what it really is. You've got at the top, you've got God our Father, our Creator. Mm-hmm. Up underneath it is we the people. Up underneath the we the people is the quote unquote government. Okay. Up underneath your government is like your lawyers, your doctors, your psychiatrists, and things like that. Right. Up underneath them, guess what, guys? It's the corporation. That means the corporation of the United States of America. We are more powerful than they are.
Right.
It's time that we stand up. Know your power. Know your status. That is the most important thing that we can do.
I see. I think we had a couple. The number we had call in. Well, I think we're gonna do the call in line the second hour. People, I apologize for not specifying that because I wasn't sure how we were kind of like winging it and doing last minute because like I guess we weren't able to get a guest on the show. So a lot of the time we'll do an open mic when that happens. So and we'll do that the open mic calls during the second half, folks. Go ahead, Candace.
Okay. Now, you can actually sue the police. You can sue any corporation. It's just like the Monell doctrine, I guess you can say. It's not a doctrine. It's Monell versus I want to say the United States, to be honest. I might be wrong on that. But basically what it's saying is the corporation is just like the Jack in the Box, the next door Crystals, Walmart, whatever. They're just like them. They're no higher than we are. Now, it says right here, as far as like, hold on, where'd it go? I lost it. Okay, here's something, guys. As far as like when it comes to the police officers and, people getting pulled over or whatnot, when they're doing the sirens or whatever, if they're doing the siren, guess what? It's illegal because say you're driving down the road or whatever and they got their sirens and their lights out and you're not pulled over and they're not investigating you, they're breaking the law right then and there. Period. End of the day. Because those sirens are only for emergencies. They're only for investigations. Illegal search, if they do ask if you mind, like I said, say no. Because a lot of times these police officers, what they're doing, they're going to get in your car. You may not actually do anything. But if that police officer is trying to get their quote, unquote, for the
their quota,
month or whatever, their quota day,
their quota, because they do have quotas, folks. I know here in Las Vegas they do. They make money on how many arrests they make commission on some of these, in some cases, it's like it's ridiculous.
Right, absolutely. What they're doing when it comes to that, and especially if they know that you hang out in not very good areas like the hood, or they see you, the drug dealer's house or something like that, they're gonna frame you. These police officers, trust and believe, they're not your friend. They are not. Like,
let me tell you what happened the other day. I was going to the bank to make a deposit, right? And I guess I used my turn signal too late than I was supposed to. But not only that, he pulled me over because I guess my license plate light was out. But dude, it tripped me out, dude. Like he was like asking me like also like asking me the same question 3 different times and spaced out to see if I give a different answer. But I was like, he's wanting to check my car for guns, and I'm thinking, oh great, this motherfucker's gonna plant something on me. It's like that's what was going through my mind, I'm like, what is it now? Look
at what they're doing to us. I mean, seriously. I'm going to read something, as far as like when it comes to the police officers, they're actually private contractors for a private corporation. The United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 1, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. January 19, 2011, Judge May's conclusion of law was that the Dallas Police Department and the North Carolina Department of Transportation are both private entities that do not fall within the executive branch of state government. This decision was upheld in judicial review by the Judge Ridgway. This means that every police department in the country is a private entity. In other words, they are private contractors and private for profit business. So, if a Wackenhut security guard driving for an armored car pulls you over and tries to give you a ticket, what would you do? Governments descend to the level of a mere private corporation and take the characteristics of a mere private citizen, where the private corporate commercial paper, Federal Reserve notes, and securities checks is concerned. For purposes of suit, such corporations and individuals are regarded as entities entirely separate from the government. That's the Clearfield Trust Company versus the United States. What the Clearfield Doctrine is saying, that when private commercial paper is used by the corporate government, the government loses its sovereignty status and it
Mhm.
becomes no different than a private corporation. Government is bound by the rules and laws that govern private corporations. So, if they tend to compel a living man or woman to some specific performance based upon the corporate statutes or corporation rules, then the government, like any private corporation, must be the holder in due course of a contract or something consenting agreement made with full disclosure between it and the one upon whom demands for specific performance are made. The government is required to enter the contract or commercial agreement until evidenced by due process before trying to get the court to enforce its statutory demands. Every so-called city, county, state, or federal government entity, courts, police, taxing agencies, etc., you can think are a list of Mana.com, which belongs to Dun & Bradstreet, and they are traded on the stock market. Real governments do not trade on the stock market. Governments are supposed to provide public services. The Data Universal Numbering System, abbreviated as the DUNS or DUNS, is a system developed and regulated by Dun & Bradstreet, DNB, that assigns a unique numeric identifier referred to as DUNS number to a single business entity. DUNS users include the European Commission, the United Nations, and the United States government. Your thanks are assumed. Please stop wasting the bandwidth. Thank you. I agree. Ditto. Precisely. Well, prep. It says, have you checked the file section? I don't know what that's about. But I just wanted to read that to y'all and let you know,
It's very insightful for sure. Definitely. That's good information to know. A lot of people don't know this stuff, and like they have a right to know too.
Yeah, they do. And I'm gonna tell you right now, ignorance of the law is no excuse. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna
right. Isn't that tie right in though to it though? Like it's like that you hear that, but you never think about really what that means, and you never think about it from the perspective of the rights of the citizen. And by knowing the law, we're going to be able to outmaneuver these bastards with their tricks.
Yeah, well, see, and two, like I'm gonna say, but I don't know what chapter or what book it is in the Bible, but I do know that it does say, "My people will perish for the lack of understanding and knowledge," and this is what it's referring to. Everybody needs to realize that the Bible is written all through everything that we do, every single thing.
Yeah.
Y'all can call me conspiracy theorist or whatever you want to call me.
Oh no, they're not. No, it's funny because that's the label. But if you actually look at the origin of that whole label, it comes from the CIA. It comes from the CIA, folks.
Wow.
That was a way for them to try and make people people that are trying to get the truth out there, like a way for them to poo-poo the whole thing and everything. So they can use that. Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. You're just conspiracy. Now look how it's happened now in the last 2 years. Who's been the people that have been putting the truth out there, and who's been the people that have been vetted every single time? Like every single thing that was said that was going to happen is exactly how it played out. And we're like, whoa, what in the actual hell's going on here? It's like reality's been flipped upside down almost, because now it's just like, whoa. But it comes to find out a lot of the stuff that was being said that people were being labeled conspiracy theorists for, well, they were freaking right about a lot of it.
Okay, so I want to kind of read something to y'all real quick, because I know this actually affects each and every one of us.
And it's not. I just want to say to the naysayers, it's not a theory if you can prove it, folks. It's a conspiracy fact if you can prove it. That's the difference there.
How many of you actually, when you get pulled over, you're getting a ticket because you don't have a driver's license? I know the way to actually have your driver's license, like for you to be able to go to court and have that case dropped. Okay. The U.S. Supreme Court says no license necessary to drive automobile on public highway streets. It says U.S. Supreme Court and other high court citations proving that no license is necessary for normal use of an automobile on common ways. the right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon by horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile is not mere privilege, which may be permitted or prohibited at will, but a common right, which he has under his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Under this constitutional guarantee, one may, therefore, under the normal conditions, travel at his inclination along the public highways or in public places, and while conducting himself in an orderly and decent manner, neither interfering with nor disturbing another's rights. He will be protected not only in his person, but also in safe conduct. What they're using and how they're able to do this is legalese. Because what they're saying is, even though as an everyday individual, we say we're fixing to go drive to the store, what we're really doing is we're traveling. We are travelers. And our vehicles are not vehicles. They're automobiles. If you got to go take your stuff, you're moving your house, right? You're not driving to move your property to your house. You're traveling, right? There's actually, if I can find it real quick, a lot of people get put on probation for not having a driver's license. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've got court coming up because I quit paying my probation officer. You know why? Because you cannot charge somebody with a fee when it's actually a right to be able to travel. You cannot act fees like dues to that stuff. What the states are actually doing is they are racketeering.
Yep.
Each and every one of us.
Yep. And they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, oh my God, I wish I could figure out how to get this information out to our police officers and the courts.
Well,
I can.
oh my God. So, hey, Jen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
Hey,
right,
guys,
cool.
am
You
I
ready?
late? Am I late? I heard there was open mic night. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, exciting. I can't wait. Hang on just a second. Okay. I just gotta, yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I was like, I figured we were like gonna like go like open night karaoke. Is that what this is about?
I love it. No,
I'm
no,
sorry, you guys,
open mic,
Today.
open mic. What can we do to end the corruption?
Like, she's great. Thank you. All seriousness aside, you guys, but she, I just.
Jen's just being silly, guys. She's being the comic
Okay.
relief tonight, and I love it.
Hey, wait a second here.
That was brilliant.
It's open mic, man.
It is.
I
Go
have
for
a
it.
freedom of expression, don't I? I'm gonna express it freely. So
Right.
The stage is all yours, Jen. Go for it.
the stage is on. Okay. So anyhow, I heard the whole time while I was waiting. I was thinking we were gonna go do open night karaoke, but I got my purse ready. I got, everything ready. And I don't know what to say. I'm I guess I'm happy to be here. Open night. Open mic night.
I know that you've been talking about wanting to do a little like a segment of your own, at least on that front. I think that'd be great.
Well, this caught me kind of off guard, so I'm just kind of winging it a little bit.
All right.
But I just, where do I start? Let's see. Okay,
You can start anywhere you want to.
Okay, I'm gonna do it right now, right here, right now. Okay, you guys ready? I was hoping if I would have known what this was all about, I would have had a prop, my tripod. I just figured we were gonna go do open mic night somewhere else. I didn't realize this was like an official podcast. I guess I read the stuff what it was about. Wow. Okay, so
I love it. That's
I
awesome.
I just wanted to say this is a reenactment. All the events in this is not real. So viewer discretion advised. So since this is an open mic night, I'm gonna have to set my purse down. I'm gonna have to change my clothes.
Jen, would you
Geez,
like to tell our audience about
yes.
what you wanted to do as far as like, because I know we were planning on to give you a little show on one during one of the days that we're not doing a show, so we like kind of lighten the mood, because like one of our goals, folks, is
Hey.
to fill up the week with content for our viewers. And whether that be Fringe Division podcast or the Sacred Lovisa or the Tips Techniques, we also want to add like kind of like a lighter side of things too, like something comedy related, something for people to watch and just kind of laugh and and unwind, and so like I think we're gonna have all sorts of cool stuff for you guys coming up in the future, as well as other stuff.
Excuse me, but
Go ahead. Tell them about that. Tell them about that
I
a bit.
forgot what I was gonna say. I was just thinking, okay, so Candace, I'll tell you the things that I heard. I heard about Double Jeopardy saw us thinking the game Jeopardy, right? I mean, and that's kind of like what kind of in that sort, not you think okay, Jeopardy is so
right.
What is correction?
Go ahead.
Okay, so what is okay? You want to answer that? Like what is that? Correction for 200.
Sorry, you were cutting out there for a minute, Jen. Say that one more time.
My hand on my microphone. Yeah, I really was looking forward to karaoke tonight. So I'm sorry, I just wasn't ready for a serious podcast. No, it just kind of threw me off. I got all ready to go.
Right.
And but I,
no.
But
why don't you tell our viewers about what you're going to be wanting to do? Like what kind of what your show is going to be about that you're going to be doing soon that we talked about?
A show. Whoever said about a show?
Well, didn't you say you wanted to do like your own comedy thing, your own little show? Because we were going to give you your own little segment. Because like I know you like to be the comic relief, and we talked about that before. Like you wanted to do some work with James and stuff, but like I definitely would like for you to be able to do whatever. You have your own platform, your own forum to do. I
want to make sure that I don't cover my microphone.
So because since we did that little skit, that was a great segue into what we're going to be having come up soon in the near future with as far as other shows we'll be doing.
Okay, so so this is my whole reasoning for this. This is my reasoning for Jen's fun facts. Is because this is so heavy. The energy is just, it's like a heavy weight on her chest. We need to laugh. We need to laugh at it, because if life's tragic, if there's no, and laughing is the best form of medicine. Therapy. It releases endorphins. So it's, I'm not making fun of the seriousness of things, but in a way, you got to have fun with it. Otherwise, you end up in a straitjacket. And we all know what happens after that.
I think a lot of us have already come pretty close to that.
Candace, hey, Candace, does my hair look okay? Candace,
look, mine's looking wild. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
No, girl, look
beautiful.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah, it looks perfect. I like it.
I colored it. Hey. So anyhow. All the seriousness that we deal with all this corruption, all this heaviness, I do not like to end things on that note because it eats at me.
It does. So, I think it does a lot of us too.
Well, I'm speaking for myself, not everybody else.
Well, honestly, the only reason why I come so serious about all this is because, like, many of us parents, we're literally having to be our own attorneys, and a lot of this information people don't know about.
Well, what
I mean, put that information out so they can start, somewhere.
Oh no, definitely no. You're fine, Candace. We're just saying, like in general, it's a heavy topic to cover. It can be really draining at times, and so like a lot of the time we want to lighten the mood to like kind of balance it out.
Hey, I'm raising my hand. My hand.
All you, Jen.
Okay. So no, it is serious. No, and I'm not taking it lightly whatsoever. But I think on open mic night, since we're not doing karaoke like I thought we were going to do, you guys probably wouldn't want me to sing anyway. I think we need to liven it up somewhat, and it just to laugh, to have a good time, because in the midst of all this ugliness and evil and just all that stuff,
You have to be able to
there's
laugh.
still beauty, there's still laughter, there's still joy. So I mean, I remembered, when Jessica, and is it okay if I talk about what happened and how you came on and the connection? Is that okay? Are you
Jessica?
there, Jessica?
Yes,
Jessica.
sorry.
Okay, Jessica, what were you doing, Jessica?
I was typing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
You're not paying attention?
I thought she
Okay.
was having trouble figuring out how to unmute her mic like you used to have it.
Oh.
Jen.
Like I
I was
do.
gonna say that's why I love my mom so much, because she used to laugh a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, even when she was facing death, she would be like, "I don't want to wake up dead."
Right.
Girl, please be on. But no, when I first met you, it was on a very tragic situation, and I started to feel the empathy in my heart. I was not able to grieve my son's death. It's been 2 years, and we don't get to pick when we grieve.
Nope.
But the thing is I don't want to make this too serious, because this isn't my segment. Not serious. Okay. Not serious right now today. But anyhow, and I've been repressing it for 2 years, because the fact that I have children that are still alive. So I know how it is to grieve over children that are dead now, and children are alive. That's for another podcast, but this is going to be a fun one. So this is how you helped me start to deal with my grieving. So, but anyway, I don't want to get all deep in this, because I want to have fun tonight. Okay.
Right. But
Okay.
yeah, Jen and I we've got some good stuff we're going to be covering in upcoming episodes. So look forward to that. Like she was talking about grieving, mourning for a child that's dead, and mourning for a child that was taken.
Right,
and
but we're
also going to be talking about other stuff too. But we have some good shows coming up for you guys.
But I just want, if it's open mic, all goes. And if I want to dress up in my karaoke clothes, I'm gonna do it.
And you are free to do so, for sure.
I mean, that's my freedom. But I mean, well, at least on this podcast. now
you just came on camera, Jessica. I just seen that.
Yeah, you want to come on camera?
We'd love for you to come on camera, so our viewers.
Come on camera. Come on. Come on, Jessica.
There.
Do it. Come on, look at me. I'm coming on camera, and I thought I was going to karaoke. I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go.
There we go. There she is. Hi. Good to see you finally.
Good to saw you. Hi, Jessica. But no, and that's why I was thinking, when I said, how about I read Jen's fun facts? Just the weird, like the weird, crazy laws, just to lighten it up, because we take in, being, empath and showing sympathy, for each other. We carry those emotions, and everything, and a way to fix it is to laugh and everything. And I do like silly skits, because it's not because I think it's funny. It's because that's how I cope.
It's a way of coping.
And your mom left. Well, guess what? That's the coping mechanism that my dad taught me, and my whole paternal side and my family. And my dad maybe wasn't the most tactful ones, and he shouldn't have said some of the jokes, but he meant well. So that's how I deal with this. So, I mean, by no means am I laughing at the situation.
No, not at all.
I mean, but
no, me, and because Jen, she had been talking about doing like something along those lines for a minute, and so she's been working up the nerve. She got it all set. It's like, go for it. I think it would be great. People need that comic relief. I think to kind of lighten their spirit a bit, at least.
Yeah,
I know it. I know.
Right.
I use humor for myself to cope.
And here's another thing.
It helps.
Is that oh gosh, and that lost my train of thought. I still can't get over the no karaoke night. You know, I'm just.
So
What is that?
what do you think we can do what can we do? What would you do to take action to end the corruption, Jen?
Well, that's a general question, Stephen. Well, let's see.
I've got an idea, guys.
Go for it.
Okay, so like the documents that I just read, that's one part of it. Another part of it is the W-4 sandwiches. Every time you go to court, have those actually assessed. Not only that, one thing that I thought about, me and Melissa, was you know how we're supposed to do what is it? Let me think of the word just a minute.
Candace, you're making me hungry. What did you talking about? Sandwiches? Sandwiches? I'm hungry.
Look, I'm hungry too. Look, I've got food over here. I'm hungry and I'm waiting for my plate. So, I mean,
you talking about sandwiches and stuff. Shoot, I thought I was going to go karaoke and get some chicken wings. Jeez. Hey, talk about sandwiches and Jessica. What are you doing? Are you eating?
Hey. I look like she put her phone down and munching on something like, oh, I'm going to eat too. No, we're just busting your chops.
She's talking about sandwiches. I was keeping y'all on your toes here for open mic night.
Go ahead, Candace. Finish your thought real quick.
The identity theft. There's like 4 different documents that you do. And what it is, you fill them out and you send them to the IRS. I've actually got mine done and it's got to be sent off. I've got 3 envelopes on mine. Right here, done, ready to go. Because every time you go to court, your identity is getting stolen anyways. Every time your social security number, it's getting stolen. Court is all about the money. Completely about the money. Hello?
Girl, I love that pink girl. Look, she's like in the stars or like.
Yeah, no, I like the hue in your room. It looks perfect. I like, come on camera. That would be perfectly compliment everybody else's.
Sunlight behind me.
And it compliments Jen's hair too.
It compliments my brand.
Like, check it out. It's like,
nice.
Like,
love it.
What? Now, girl, please.
Hey, so y'all know how we actually have like your lawyers and stuff and the judges, you actually do a complaint against them. This is where everybody's going to have to come in together and we're going to be able to take these people down one by one. Okay, so you know how we got 4 people. Okay, you do your complaint on the judge. Okay, I turn around, I do the complaint on your judge.
Yeah.
Jennifer's going to turn around and do the same complaint on your judge. After the judge gets so many, they're off the bench just like that. Then you're able to go after their bonds. You go after their bonds and the indemnity bonds and everything.
I got
that right there's going to take your courts down.
I got a song for that. To remove a judge, just like that. To remove a judge, just like that. Hey, remove a judge, just like that. Come on, help me out here, folks. Come on, karaoke.
I say every day, remove a judge just like that.
No, I got a better one. Okay.
What do you call a lawyer that doesn't know the law?
Right. I don't know. What do you call a lawyer that doesn't know the law?
A judge.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's right.
Hey,
that was funny.
This is karaoke. Okay, I'm gonna make it into karaoke. This is open mic. Okay. Remove a judge, just like that. Remove a judge, just like that. Hey, bring that jury back. Break it down now. How about that?
Right, so, I want to hear from you, Jessica. What do you think we can do to? What would you do to end the corruption? And then we'll segue into our open mic call-in line.
To end the CPS corruption, the best thing that I've ever thought of was actually to just stop paying taxes, for everybody to stop paying taxes. And it might be hard because we would have to all be very poor and look like complete losers. But at the same time, if we did it, it would cripple them.
It would.
Because they run off of our tax money.
It would cripple them.
They would be instantly crippled.
But what do we do? Like, I know there's a lot of dark money too, though, going through like a lot of dark money. So they were like I know we can do that from the money that we put into the system from that front. But how do we know when they're not going to just take the dark money and use it to funnel it into that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's
the real problem, because like, it's one of the issues that they try to confuse a lot. And it's like, the whole gun issue. It's not about, you don't take away guns from law abiding citizens, because it's not going to take away the guns on the black market, which is the ones that are causing the problems.
Guys, I thought about something, and this is something I've honestly been thinking about.
Go ahead, Candace.
So in the amendment, it says that we're supposed to be able to have a gun, right?
Right. Second Amendment, right.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be infringed. So what that means, that doesn't mean if you're, that means if you're a criminal or not a criminal, they are infringing on everybody's constitutional right.
Right.
And also, if I recall, the Second Amendment is in order to overturn our tyrannical government. And I think our government,
that too.
I think they meet that qualification. Just saying.
But at this point, yeah, I would have to agree with you. It's pretty bad.
When if she's done, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. What, Candace for president? Are you running for president, Candace?
Candace ain't president.
Say what? One more time, Candace. We missed that.
I said we're gonna make Jennifer the president.
Oh, there we go.
Amen.
You know what, girl? Shoot, girl. Yeah, you're right. I should be president. You're right.
I don't know about women being president. As a woman, I know we all go through our, like a quarter of our lives completely nuts, and we throw dishes. I don't know about a button we can blow.
You know what? Hey, Jessica, it's only under certain circumstances, okay? I mean, let's look behind the reasons why we might throw dishes or, go crazy with the pots and, I mean, just saying, I don't know. I mean, I think actually, to be quite honest here, I think a woman would be a good president. But you know what? I think that my youngest daughter should be president, because I think a child would be a better president than anybody other politicians that I know that ever ran. But anyways, because just whatever.
Unfortunately, I have to agree with you right now on that, because it's pretty bad.
You know what? Because I think that I was in the White House. I was the president. I don't think I threw dishes. I probably, oh gosh, there'd be a lot of changes. Okay, so
I'm fixing to eat. I'm hungry, and the food just got done.
Oh, nice.
Well, I know you got. What kind of sandwiches were you talking about? Okay.
That's
hungry.
That's the W4 sandwiches. That's they've actually got some videos out on it. It's a
lettuce, tomato.
No,
what's on it? Are you sure?
1040 W4 and a letter, a cover letter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like a W4 sandwich or something. I don't know, but anyway.
Are we talking about food, or are we talking about documents here?
I don't know. I'm confused.
I'm a little confused.
So am I.
I kind of got hungry, and so I made my plate. Dinner just got done, so I'm gonna go off camera.
Hey, go ahead, Candace. I think we all like to do that when we are like either doing like something. We probably will hear it myself in a minute.
Okay.
Jen, you're kind of cutting out in and out.
Oh, really bad. You know why? Because I have my hand on the microphone. Is that better?
A little bit, yeah. So hey, let's. It's 7:20. We're let's segue into the call-in line and see if anybody calls in, and then we'll go from there.
Can I say something really super quick?
Go for it. Yeah.
A way that I think to save the world. Okay, so if I had a magic wand, I'd take it, and I would. Let's see. I would rescue the children that are being held prisoner by our foster care system and by our government subsidized child. Oh gosh, what's that word called? I'm trying to be politically incorrect here.
Oh yeah, which reminds
Okay,
me,
well,
don't forget to check out our other site,
Oh,
politicallyincorrectness.com.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that first of all,
Well, that's
let's
me. We're
start
got
with-
somebody calling in on the call-in line. That's what that is. If you're hearing that.
Okay. I'm trying to wrap this up. Don't rush me. This is going to be like an epic statement that is going to save the world. Okay, right now, right here, you're witnessing.
No, I'm not going
real
to. I'm
time.
going to let you finish. Don't worry. We'll be opening the call-in line shortly, folks. Just bear with us.
Okay, I just because you got it, and Steven, your turn's after me. Okay, so don't forget. Anyway,
I
okay,
won't.
so what I think that we need to do is number one, rescue the children that are that are imprisoned in our foster care system, that are being trafficked through all governments. We got the border and the border of Texas. We got the one in Arizona. That some are coming over for a better quality of life, and some are criminals. We need to first and foremost rescue the children before we do anything, because if we don't, then things could get restless and we lose more children. But I think we all need to unite and swoop in and take what's ours. Don't go file a motion. If it's our rights, take it. It's our rights, not theirs. Given by our creator, that is not to be taken by anybody else.
That's what that document that I read about was.
Yes.
That's what those two documents, that's what that was. That's a restoration of property.
Yes.
Children are our property. They are
Yes.
biological property.
And you know what? Another thing that will play in a next podcast, because this was open mic, so I'm getting over not doing karaoke. But you know what? There's Cicero that says there's 28 principles, okay? And then it goes along with the biblical, and we'll read that next time.
Yes.
And it will line up so perfectly.
It does. It lines up with natural law, folks.
And
it's
you know
really
what?
good.
You know what? One more thing. Okay, is that does anybody until you looked at it, did you know what your God-given rights are? I didn't.
I think we should have the God-given right to fish, and they charge us fishing lessons.
Is that it?
It's funny because like I've always, I've always been a strong believer in the principles our forefathers put it, founded this country on. And so like whenever I think about inalienable rights, I think life, the right to life, liberty, prosperity, and happiness.
But with that, no. But being serious, like I was trying not to be seriously serious, but why should we have to ask for permission to feed our family? Why should we have to get a license for this and a license for that?
We shouldn't have to.
The taxes, slavery. But I just, and I wasn't trying to make a joke. We should be able to fish. We should have the right to travel, and we need number one to bring back universal human rights. That's by the Geneva Convention.
Yes.
That is the right of freedom from torture, the right to travel, the right for, because right now, to be complete right now, get the fun, right now, if those rights are not recognized, the civil rights, the constitutional rights don't mean anything. Because those are all
said.
Those are all based from the universal, and I'll grab those. There's one that goes wherever you. There's number one. There's a God-given rights. Yes, that we're automatically given, and then there's the universal human rights that follow us in our pocket no matter where we go. Okay, so, but without all those,
right. And natural law and common law.
Yes.
Common law is based off of natural law, folks.
Yes.
This rules
But
natural law.
you know
Think
what?
about that. But you need to like, what is natural law? And we're going to be segueing into that next time for sure.
I got good stuff. So anyhow, all right, I'll be quiet. I got to go get changed since I'm not going to be singing in karaoke. I'll be back.
Okay,
guys.
Jen. All righty. All right, folks. We're going to open up the phone line now. Go ahead.
Yeah, are you guys in for fun facts tonight or not? I mean,
yeah, I'm down.
Okay, how about you, Jessica? Oh, she said she'd be right back. She's probably in her pink room or her.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
Okay.
well, I'm down for it. I love your fun facts, Jen. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right, be right back.
All righty. Oh, you know what? Actually, I almost forgot something. I want to play this little audio clip, or not audio clip, this little video segment. I think Dottie had put together for us. I'm just gonna play it because I didn't ever hear back if she wanted to do do a revised version. So I'm just gonna play the one we got real quick. It's only like 9 minutes, folks, but I think it's important we cover it just a little bit. It's about the straw man.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then we'll segue into the call online after this.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So, there is a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oopsie-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Did you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well, then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, your child becomes a ward of state. And if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you, but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead, and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man, so you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man, or legal personality, is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy. Would you like to know more? Well, then go over to tpuc.org. Get up, get informed, and get real.
I think that was meant to be an intro. I apologize, but I thought that was important. We covered what she had to say. I think that was important about the straw man and the what she put in the text was really relevant. I think, and that was great. Holy crap! Where'd Jen go? Oh, there she is. I thought I could look. I thought there was only three of us. All right, cool. So let's we're gonna open up the phone lines now and take our calls. So let me make sure that I have everything set up right. Okay. It's unmuted now. You guys can call in.
Where did Jen go? I can't find her anywhere.
I just noticed you were still here.
All over the house.
All right, folks.
I don't know.
The phone lines are open. Feel free to call in now if you want. We are listening and taking calls now. So sorry about the miscommunication. We kind of like decided to do the call-in thing last minute, so we're scrambling to get everything put together. But you guys can call in now. We'd love to hear from you. What do you think? What would you do to end the corruption? That's our topic here. Call in.
We're not sorry. I want to hear from other people what they think.
I do too. No, I was apologizing for the miscommunication because I didn't specify we were going to do it in the second half, and I probably should have.
Oh, okay. Well, we just kind of like winged it and had it.
Yeah.
And probably one of the best ones that we've done. That's leaving with a great feeling. So okay.
Yeah, I love it. I think we did great. Oh, here we go. We got an incoming call. All right. All right. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can hear you. All right. Can you guys hear her? Can you guys hear her? Hey, Crystal. Can you guys hear her on the share the screen share? I just want to make sure our viewers can hear her too.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, I'm going to take it off of my headset then. How about now?
Okay. No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh crap. Are you still there? Can you guys hear that?
Nope.
Nope.
Hold on. Are you still there? Can you guys hear that? Weird.
You're echoing.
Hold on 1 second. Let me try and fix my.
Okay.
Oh crap, man! I don't know why it's not. Say something, Crystal, and then so we can verify. Yeah, I don't think our viewers can hear you. Damn it.
Darn it. I can hear it. I can hear it briefly. It's real faint.
What's working today, and yeah, I wanted to give my input about what we could do, and
The audio is really, really low.
it's been a long time. But yeah, we could.
Go for it. We're recording this live too, so what we'll do is we'll for our viewers we'll put it up after the show. Sorry about that, folks. It's just sometimes the tech doesn't work like you want it to.
Overthrow our government and declare martial law, in order to make a real change and difference. That's what people need to realize about making a change. That's the action plan.
Okay, but I don't think martial law is the term you're looking for, because martial law implies government freaking them locking all of us down. I think you're looking for a different term.
We'd have to get rid of our government in order to make a difference, because they're the root of the problem.
Right. Well, I think, yeah, I mean, obviously the corruption stemming for pretty far.
Our government, human, what is it, Department of.
I can't hear anything.
How about I try to go on a different device and then put it on, well, I don't know if that'd work. Put it on speaker, but I don't know if that'd work either. Mute my microphone, but I don't know if that would work. I don't think that'd work. Yeah, I can hear it. It's barely. I mean, barely.
It's got to be something on his side.
The trucker convoy. Mm-hmm. So let me give you guys a recap for our viewers that haven't, because I know we're having technical difficulties. She's basically talking about we need to dismantle our government, and rebuild it from the ground up because of the corruption. Basically, she's talking about the trucker movement was phenomenal because of how it inspired people to stand up and stuff like that. But we need to keep heading in those directions, folks, because these bastards aren't going to back down until we provide the pushback. Oh, was that wait? Was that you? Okay, right. That's kind of what I was getting at. You know, Mhm. Right. Well, everybody's got something to contribute for sure. And you know what basically Crystal was saying, let me just recap for our viewers who can't hear you because of technical difficulties. She was saying one person can make a change. And she said, for example, I'm one person, me, Stephen Phillips, you know, the work we're doing here. I created this News for Us platform. We're doing the work, you know, so we can make a difference. And you know, and what D'Angela's doing, she's one person, she makes a difference. We all have something to contribute. And I think it's the collective combined effort of all of us that are trying to do something to make a difference that's really going to make this happen. That's what we need to keep in mind. It's not any one individual on an individual basis. It's everything that we do as individuals combined to the greater to the bigger effort collectively.
And I'd also like to add as well
Oh yeah.
is that
Oh
this
yeah.
is
It will definitely
intentionally.
drain. That's she's saying it's draining, and it is, and like that's kind of why we had you know, we did that little comic, you know, little comedy sketch halfway through the show for kind of lighten the mood for our viewers because it is a heavy subject and it can be draining.
Like what I was gonna say, I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Forget. I lost it. It's gone. It went poof.
Right.
It was a really good idea, but that's okay. It'll come back later when the podcast is probably over.
Right.
um, like basically go back to what you were saying. It might come back. Something about um the last sentence, the last two sentences that you said.
Right.
If you do that, like what was she saying? Um, yeah, shoot. Okay, never mind. It was excellent, but that's okay.
One person can do make a huge
They are.
change.
They are abusing their families. They are, and people are only going to tolerate it for so long. And that people are awake, I think. And what she was saying is, folks, just I'm going to recap real quick for our viewers, that she can feel the imminent change. Like she feels like the shit's about to go down, and like there's something's about to change because like it's so bad, and everybody sees it. I mean, just look at like the coverage of the Mar-a-Lago raid. Look at the FBI and that fucking, you know, manufactured evidence that they didn't, how sloppy a job they did. I mean, it looks like almost like we're watching a movie. I think that we're very close. I can feel it. I can feel it. We
This,
just have to keep pushing, pushing because we're not gonna back down until they get held accountable.
and the thing, this wasn't what I was saying, but maybe I'll remember in the middle of this, is that oh, since you're sharing your screen, I can't go on camera. That's okay. Um, but it takes like okay, with only one bee, it's just kind of annoying. Ew, god damn, or the mosquito. But with billions of bees, then we create something. Then they'll be running. So like you take, you know how you got a bee in your well. Anyway, I'm allergic to them, so I look kind of really funny when I'm like yelling like profanities because I'm allergic to them and they'll kill me, and nobody can see that bee. But I'm saying I'm like, oh my gosh, because if I got stung, then my breathing goes down and I stop breathing. But one bee is just annoying. You just take the fly swatter, you kill it. But when you got a billions of them swarm, that's when we make a difference, right there.
We just need the right people in positions of power.
I just want to real quick tell our viewers that we're getting some really weird subtitles coming in. I don't know where they're coming from, but I think they might be coming from the TV in the living room. I switched to my other mic to try and maybe pick up Crystal better, but I think it just backfired on us because we're getting some really weird subtitles. So just ignore the subtitles right there, folks, and about whatever, something about allergic reaction. I don't know where the hell it's coming from, but just sorry about that. Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay, so remember how like that Patriot Act came into
Oh yeah. No, that's not a subject at all, because that was the start of them taking our rights away. That was their justification. They set that up 20 years in advance.
They're sitting here spying on us, but yet they're controlling what people can and can't say.
Right.
I feel like we're living in like days where like it's almost like Hitler days again.
It is. It really is.
I've been doing like a lot of research and I'm like, and it just dawned on me, what if like the Germans were behind it because they're the ones that were here 200 years ago.
Right.
Like I know it sounds not.
No, it makes perfect sense. Well, look at all the Nazi scientists that we brought over in Patrick Paperclip. I don't think that they changed their ideology overnight. Do you? I think what we're witnessing here is a silent infiltration that's been occurring for many decades, and now it's just coming to the forefront.
And it all ties into like their secret societies and stuff from 200 years ago, and and it's just like what they traffic, and what they get out of it, and all their secrets, and it's just like all these things that make you wonder, like, our country has a lot of secrets, and it's like, people are waking up, but it's like we think we got it, we think we got our finger on it, and we know exactly what we're talking about, but then it's like, oh, you better follow something another direction because it's just so big, it's just so hard to like,
Right.
it's just there's too many hands involved in this.
Way too many. Way too many hands.
And it's just what we're dealing with is not normal. It's not, not humans, not people with empathy, not people with heart. What we're dealing with is much bigger than we can ever imagine.
Right.
It's just it's so mind. It just blows your mind. It doesn't really. It's like, okay, well, you can say there's 5,000 people that might be trafficking in the country, but it's bigger than that. Like, this is to do, it's not just here in this country. It's somebody that has to have power and control of everything, and what they're doing in general.
Right. Totally. Thank you for chiming in. We appreciate your input for sure. We're probably going to wrap up the phone lines after this because I don't think we're having technical difficulties, and until I get that situated, I don't want to make it hard for our viewers to hear. So like what we'll do is we'll go back because I'm recording this, and we'll add it in after the fact, and I'll edit it accordingly so we have the full segment so everybody can hear it right. Because I know I'm trying to do this call in line for the Google Voice, but the audio settings are not working right, folks. Thank you, Crystal. Appreciate your input.
Keep exposing your stories, and let's keep trying to bring people together to actually do something.
Yes.
Besides exposing it, like coming together, like building. I'm not saying building network. Well, yeah.
Well, that's what we've already done, but we need to organize, I think, and unite.
That's what we need to push for, because until we do that, we're not going to make a change or as big of an impact.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you.
We're not getting results fast enough.
Right. Because like a lot of these, I mean, it's like doing anything through the system takes freaking forever. And what do you do when the whole system's corrupt and complicit and you can no longer rely on it?
That's the only way.
You're trapped, and
Yep.
there's
And I'm thinking citizens arrest, stuff like that. I think that's a direction we could actually take that might actually be feasible. We'd have to have the backing, we'd have to have, well, we could do it. We have that right, folks.
And they're getting in there, and whether it be getting a job or, going in there and taking them, like they're actually going in and kicking down doors, and they're actually, returning the kids that were kidnapped, and like, you know, that's what they're doing, you know, so I mean, there's different groups out there that are actually taking action. They're going and they're finding them and they're returning them to their loving homes. And I think, you know, we could find more people like that.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of like there's well, Jen has somebody that she has coming up on our next week's show. Hopefully, if they're able to make it, they're he's saving kids over at the border, and I know that's really admirable. He's taking action just to save these kids that are at risk of being trafficked, the ones that aren't being accompanied by any adults,
Yeah.
And I think that's really admirable work, and I think we need to recognize that that's what this issue is really about. It's about the trafficking going on at the border. It's not about letting people in or not. It's just, because there's a proper way to do things, folks. You do things, you go through the process. There is a legal way to do things to become a citizen. I got no problem with that. I mean, that's what this country was founded on, but you can't do it by breaking the law. And what we have here is a bunch of criminals, the ones that aren't doing through the process, they're just coming over, that are freaking involved in trafficking rings. They're pedophile. Some of them are pedophiles. I'm not generalizing here because there's a lot of good folks that come over for a better life, of course, but that's not the people we're talking about. We're talking about the coyotes, the cartels, the trafficking cartels and stuff like that. That's the real issue, folks, and that's what people need to understand. And that's not what they're not being told. They're being lied to by the mainstream. Oh, this is about equity. No, it's about freaking human trafficking, folks. Right. That's what the problem is. That's what it's always been about.
Also, another thing is that they're promised a better life, some of them. But the problem with them crossing over the border in Texas is that the Rio Grande River, there's a bunch drowning. There's children that have lost their parents. And along the way, they've got raped by these coyotes. And their heads just, so I'll save that for next. I don't want to. I don't wait for this, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
That too, they're using the tunnels are definitely being used, but we can, but we know they have tunnels, and that's the bottom line. If they can get around, they have, but today, like, people don't. I noticed that a lot of people in today's culture, like especially the younger generations, have fundamental misunderstanding of the issues. They really do, and it's like Roe versus Wade getting overturned didn't ban it countrywide. No, it just sent it back to the state level, and that's what a lot of people are under, the misperception or misconception that that's what happened. And I said, like, no, it just brought it back to the state level, and now it goes back to the state. It doesn't make it illegal all over countrywide. It just sends it back to a state level, and that's the difference that people need to understand. And they're not being told that. They're being lied to and gaslighted by the people in power. It's just amazing. Like, it's just like people have no clue. Like, and it's like, it's not their fault, because freaking, this has been coming a long time. Like, look at what they've done to the schools. But like, the work we're trying to do is trying to bring back people to having common sense and critical thinking skills. So thank you. Thank you, Crystal. We appreciate your input. Definitely, we do a call-in line. We definitely may have you call in for sure. Or even maybe somebody would call in, because I know we're having issues with this call-in line here and there, but but we'll get it worked out though in the near future for sure, because I definitely want people to be able to call in. So thank you again and for your input. We appreciate that. Did you want to say something, Jessica?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I can't wait to get the call-in line fixed.
I don't know if I can hear her. I'm gonna let you go on, but we're going to resume our live. Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. Sorry about that. I know we had audio issues. How well could you guys hear that?
I could barely hear it.
Could you hear that at all? You guys? Or, because I tried to fix it so we could hear, at least you could kind of hear her, but I don't know how well it came through.
Can you hear us?
I didn't hear her at all.
Oh crap! It's not. Oh crap! Oh, hold on. Let me exit out of this. Sorry about that. Can you try talking again? Audio is not working all of a sudden when I freaking
okay.
Say something, you guys.
Can you hear that?
Crap. Okay, hold on. Let me just switch it back. It might be my audio.
Say then. Hello.
There we go. Okay.
I'm saying something, you guys.
No, I couldn't hear any of you on my audio when I switched out of the call-in line thing. It must have changed my audio settings on the Zoom, which was weird. Anyways, but yeah, I can hear you guys now. Go ahead. Could you hear her at all on the line on your end at all, or
No.
okay? Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. That's constant issues with that shit. I got to figure that out. I got to maybe find a better way of doing that because I know before we had it set up where you could hear her, but they couldn't hear you. Called the call-in line, like so, like I guess didn't freaking work this time. So, anyways, I'll go back and edit it post-production and add in the recording that good call on recording this ahead of time, Jen. You must have picked up that we would need to.
Oh.
So let's kind of like I want to give you some last words with everybody put in their last 2 cents and give us some last words before we wrap it up. We had a great show today, I think.
Well, you know what? You're welcome because these are the moments we can go back and play and be like, look, we can still have fun and live a little bit even under tragic, tragedy and just uncertain circumstances. So we need a good laugh. Here I am, late for the show. I mean, but these are the things that my children have taught me to how to handle. Like, Mom, gosh, you don't have to be so serious. You don't have to act your age. I said, okay, game on. And this whole time, I thought my children, I was teaching them. They were teaching me, each and every one of them.
They really do. They really are the true teachers here. Like, cause they teach us how to get back in touch with that higher self. Because they're still connected to it.
Yes, and the thing about it was that when you have your 5-year-old daughter telling you and your 13-year-old daughter to behave because you guys are going to go to jail now, or something silly like that, where, I'm like, well, you should just stop being so serious all the time, like she said to me. But, we've got to, kids are our teachers. We teach them, maybe the basics, things like, but really, I think in all reality, they teach us.
They do. They really do. They really do teach us, and we it's funny because like, it's like, my it's like the kids, they just have the most insightful wisdom. It's just great. I'm finding that my nephew is giving my sister advice on how to communicate with me. So I mean that says a lot.
Well, hey, you heard the things that my daughter was saying. She was reporting live news at 5 years old.
Right. She looked like she totally would be a podcaster. Like that looked like that was right up her alley. I'm like, oh, she's going to be a mini you.
I want to play that maybe the next time, or something. I mean, and it was like, it was raining cats and dogs. Anybody wants a free cat? Come on in. I mean,
right. I thought that was awesome.
And it's just great. Gosh.
They're so in touch with their imagination. I really like, I admire the fact that they're still like that pure and like connected to source, where they're not aware of like all this stuff that we're self-conscious about,
Right. And you know what? I learned how to be a child again through them. And they're learning how, well, I'd like to say I was an adult. No, I mean, but don't get me wrong. I was stern, but boy, could we have fun. And like maybe next time I'll show the comic book that we made during one of our visits. We were based on Charlie's Angels, because that's what I said, we're the Charlie's Angels.
Nice.
But it was the 3 secret agents.
Oh, nice. I love it. The 3 secret agents. Dun, dun, dun.
And it was like, we all had our part, and I still haven't been able to finish it because they're not around. But don't worry, it'll get done. So,
yeah.
But no fun facts tonight. Sorry, folks. I think we had enough fun.
No worries. We can do it. We can do it whenever you're ready to, Jen. No worries. Any last words? Go ahead, Jen.
No, you guys go ahead. Oh, Stephen, if you could change the world or stop the corruption, what would you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to answer that question, didn't I? I tried to skip out on it. Not intentionally, though. What I would do is I would empower the people, which is what I'm doing now. But I would also encourage people to take their own initiative and start looking into these issues. Those that haven't and those that already have, let's start organizing and start talking about what we can do to end this corruption, because we the people are the ones that give consent to the state. and then from there it goes to the federal. It's not the other way around, folks. We the people have the power, and we the people need to demand it, that these bastards be held accountable. It's in our hands, folks. That's what we need to keep in mind. It's all up to us. The apathy has got to end.
Let's not forget, there's more of us than them.
Exactly. Any last words, Jessica? Would you like to put in your last 2 cents before we wrap up the show for tonight? I'd love to hear from you.
I would like to say thank you to Jen for the opportunity to work with her to help her organize everything. And thank you for inviting me tonight. This is really helping me a lot to keep my mind busy, just to keep working on, toward justice and toward getting everything better to where I don't have to watch a bunch of people suffer like I have.
Right. Go ahead.
Jessica, it's been my pleasure. And I want to thank you for hold on a second, let me get a drink. Like my daughter. She was doing a podcast and she goes, yeah, I'm going to tell you about the weather here. No, I have something in my throat. But I wanted to thank you for helping me realize that I need to start dealing with my grief, because there's a difference between grieving for children that are alive and then now grieving for a child that's passed. And now you and I can relate that, or we can relate to that, so we can help other people show that, show them the difference. I mean, and the fact that we're left with no answers. We're left with we're left with nothing, and it's just the most frightening call ever for any parent. Yes. Is for a parent to get a phone call like I did, okay? And say, oh, your son's not going to make it, but would not disclose his location. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
That's so messed up.
Okay. Now, but I put it on the back burner because I was trying to fight for my children that were still alive. But we don't get a choice when we grieve. It's repressed, and I gotta be strong and tough and everything else. But I just didn't know, I couldn't find anybody that could relate. And now I found you. I think we should team up and put together the most spectacular thing to honor children that were taken too soon from us, from me, from you, from other people, because I got no closure. I don't know how he passed.
Oh my God.
I had to find out where he was buried doing research in obituary. Okay, I had no idea. I was not included in the burial plans. Now, he was disabled. So, I mean, I knew I couldn't save him, but his biological father said I had no right to be there. So,
wow.
Yeah, so
that's so messed up.
And here's the thing, is that in every single one of the obituaries, there was nothing written about him. He's got a mother that loves him, a sister that loves him, a family. He was doing great. He was removed in 3 days after removal. Is when he developed pneumonia after 4 years of being healthy in my care. So, it just...
They basically murdered him by doing what they did. By proxy, by taking him.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not...
Well, like the fact that they couldn't take care of him and he got pneumonia that quick, that to me talks right. That's neglect.
Okay.
And possibly intentful neglect.
Just a second.
Go ahead.
Well, let me explain, because there's one factor that I need to include in there.
Okay. So I get so angry when I hear what these bastards are doing to people.
I know. Settle down. Let me explain, because yes, it is, and what they've been doing. But in this situation, okay, he was a full code. If he was to need CPR, I want it done full. Okay. That was one thing that I was left in control of. Okay. To meaning to where some parents say, you know, if you can't, then just let them go. And that one thing that I had, because my blood, his death was not on my hands. It was on their hands. And they were so angry because I cannot be manipulated into say, you know, oh, I can't. I was like, there's full code and then there's do not resuscitate. And I'm like, you know what? He was doing just fine. I want to talk to these doctors and find out what and why his health declined so rapidly when 4 years he was not hospitalized. Even when I had pneumonia, the kid, I mean, anyways, and I had doctors second guessing themselves, but I just wanted to thank you for sharing us, you know, what happened to your daughter, and helping me to heal from starting to grieve of the death of my son. So thank you.
I know exactly what you mean. It's like we're supposed to protect them. You know, we're told we're supposed to protect them. They're our children. But when they take them from us, how can we protect them?
Right.
We can't.
So that's
We
basically
can't. And,
killing them right there.
and you know, the thing is like, you know, and I even made that comment when to the child protective service worker. You know, I said I said, you know, and I named all the things and all the different things that my children were going through. I said, for you to be child protective services, why am I the only one here protecting my children?
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Because you're the one that loves them, just like I was the one that loves them. You shouldn't have taken them away from me. Nobody else is going to care for them like we will.
No. And it is, you know, my son being disabled, they thrive better in their own home. You know, you go to those facilities, they don't take good care of, well, okay, let me rephrase that. They don't care for the child or the adult or whatever as family would. And, you know, children thrive better in a family setting. So, you know, I do not regret making that choice, you know, and I think it's pretty damn admirable that 4 years, okay, he had a trach, all of this other stuff, right? Not hospitalized. And 3 damn days, he developed pneumonia. And then there's other things that, you know, to come for when I finish the rest of my story. But yeah, but and what I read from my journal was like hidden in a dark drawer where I had it hidden because I didn't want to go there again, you know?
Yeah.
And everything came back. It was just the experience. I just read it verbatim.
Yeah.
Were you saying when you were reading it, it would put you right back there?
Absolutely.
Like we're supposed to be the best, you know, I mean, we're supposed to be the best. We are the best thing for our children. That's all there is to it. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're having us throw the dice. They're having us throw the dice and then they're taking them from us. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And then,
like how can we win if we can't have control over what we're doing, what's happening to our children?
Right. And then what they do is they rip children out of our lives. And then the children react. And then they blame us for the reaction when it's them causing the trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
When it's them.
Exactly. I've seen that 100 times.
They're the ones causing the trauma in the first place, and then they try to put it on the parents when it's no. Yeah. When you rip a kid away from their parents, they're going to get traumatized because they don't understand what's going on and they're not capable of comprehending the issue of what's going on. And all they know is they're being ripped away from their parents.
Yes.
Of course, it's going to traumatize them.
And gives kids trauma training or trauma, you know, like, you know, their psychiatry for trauma. The military even gives that to the kids where their parents are taken away to another country for a little bit because they know that's going to cause the child trauma. So look how they act like we're the cause of the trauma when they know it's them separating them from their families.
Right. Well, you know what though? It's all money. You know that, and then there's something else that I'll bring. It's called eroding justice, and it talks about the mental health part of of this. So that'll be next time. But,
nice.
But you know, my arm's getting tired. I was trying to find my like my tripod, but it didn't quite work well. So
no worries.
if it's shaky. And anyways, but, I have a lot of fun, and
I gotta say, I love your energy, Jen. I love how you came in there and was just totally like in character. It was perfect. I think that was great.
I think I'm starting off like you. I'm trying to run from everything. I'm trying to deny that she's even gone. It's hard to even look at it. Every time I look at it, I break down and I feel like the end of the world's here and I'm going to kill myself. So I have to run from that pain like immediately and try to just act like it didn't even happen.
Right. It's like, it's probably like almost impossible to deal with, I would imagine. Right.
I don't think I can accept it at all.
Yeah, you can.
Now you're telling me that all these years later, you feel like maybe you can. That gives me hope that maybe I can.
No. Okay, I'm not saying no. I can help you. Okay, I found articles. I can help you. There's poetry, like I sent you that in the messenger. Yes. There's more things to do. There's poem. I mean, I want to pass on to you and other people that are going through the things that helped me.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's really, really a good idea.
Thank
you. Because there's, I mean, it's just shitty that, they'll find you when you're 18, well, you shouldn't have took my fucking kids.
Right. Exactly. What right do they have, especially when they're racketeering the freaking kids for the grant money?
And what happens, like with me, my kid turned 18. I thought, oh, good. I get to spend some time with her now. I get to talk to her. I called her on the phone and she didn't even remember our life because they had kept her from us so much. She didn't remember our love. And then she died. So I never got the chance to make up with my child. Bullshit. You're going to get to make up with your child when they turn 18.
And you know what? They do that thing and they create false memories. They've done it with my daughters. They've said these good things and good times that we've had never happened. Bullshit, Oh yeah, it gets more. It'll come out later, and when I finish telling my story.
And they act like we're so bad because they don't want them to try to spend time with us because they'll lose the money.
And you know what? The therapist. Oh yeah, she's something else. Justification therapy destroys families. The therapist colludes with the abusers.
Yeah, I do. In the both family case, there, Dr. Sarah Passmore, which was the paid for freaking psychologist, children's I think it was pediatrician actually, or it was a children's but it was they're paid for who they had in their pocket to go along with whatever narrative they want. And this does happen, people. We've seen it in Angie's case. We've seen it in the Tamsin and Reggie Bull's case. We've seen it in Jen's case. Jessica's case, a lot of cases, and it's off the rails, folks. It's really off the rails.
I mean, I even wrote different things and stuff that would
whatever the therapist says is considered true. That's too much power.
Way too much.
You know what? Okay, I can't get too much into it. All right, let's calm down here because the good energy. Now I'm getting angry and upset.
I know. I know. I think we all have. Just think that's all justifiable anger, though, considering what these bastards are doing.
I just didn't want to leave it like that.
Right.
You got it. Let's do something funny here.
All right. And then we'll wrap it up on that funny note, folks, after we're done doing that.
Come on, Jessica, turn your camera on. No cheating. Hey.
Yeah, everybody's camera on. We want to see faces.
Camera.
Yay!
Yay! She's in the pink. Loving it. My daughter was pink. She'd be like, I thought Pepto-Bismol, I mean,
yeah.
But I was like,
this reminds me of that commercial. What was it? Where they do the Macarena motion with the upset stomach, diarrhea. Yay, Pepto-Bismol.
And you know what? Hey, afterwards. Hey, listen, Stephen. Afterwards, I'll find that one if you guys want to hang out. And my daughter, that Macarena song came on.
Okay. Well, me and Jen are going to do Zoom a little bit later. If you're welcome to join, would you like to participate?
Sure.
All right. Cool.
Would you like to hear something funny?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
My mom, when she got breast cancer and she had one of her breasts removed, She used to run around the house singing Sally the camel has one hump.
That's freaking hilarious. Oh man, that's funny.
I got a joke for you guys. Okay, I don't remember. Sometime during one of the therapy sessions, right? I was working part-time at Kroger. I'm gonna take my glasses. I think I look hideous. And I was sitting there and I was telling my daughters, right? I was like, you guys, there's this Coca-Cola guy and he's really cute. Should I tell him I like Pepsi? And they're like, that's not the way to do it. I was like, can I get some advice, please? And my 5-year-old goes, yeah, Mom. She goes, you know what you should do? Ask him if he's from Tennessee because you're 10, I see.
That's clever. That's clever.
That's where I get the puns from. And yeah, just different things like that. And okay, I gotta say this since it's funny time and it's like we're laughing. So anyway, it's me and my daughter. I was like, I'm not gonna be involved in any relationships anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm gonna focus on my children and that's all, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Because they are gonna grow up someday, but da 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 da. And my daughter goes, Mom, she goes, you know what I'm gonna do? I was like, oh gosh, I was afraid. I was like, oh God, Triana, what are you gonna do? She goes, I'm gonna draw you a paper boyfriend. And I'm like, you are? I said, okay. And then I said, what do you need? She goes, well, I need this and this and this amount of paper, and stuff like that, right? I was like, okay. So I said, well, I took it and I measured it. I was like, well, he needs to be a little taller so we can slow dance. And then I want his eye color to be blue. And she goes, and don't worry, Mom, we'll laminate him. So, well, no, I told her that. She goes, don't worry, Mom. She goes, when you get tired of him, just fold him up and put him in the drawer. I was like, that's so perfect. But what if I want to take him on a walk on a rainy day? I'll laminate him. She's like, Mom, you're putting too much into this. I'm like, look, it's my paper boyfriend. I should be able to choose how I want him to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, she goes, well, how are we going to go on Mom drives? I'm like, well, I guess I'll have to drive because I don't think he can drive the car and I can't drive a paper car. She goes, I said, how about this? His name could be Wide World, or what should I name him? College World. Oh, Wide World, and she goes, she goes, do you want a paper family too? I'm like, absolutely. We can laminate them all. And I said, and she's like, okay, Mom, I was like, okay, so anyway, and she was so precise, like, she taught you school, you better pay attention. There's going to be a quiz, and if not, you're going to Principal Jack, which was our dog. Okay, you don't want to go to Principal Jack.
Nice. You gotta love how the kids could just use their imagination unfettered like that. That's awesome.
And then I'm like, okay, and then I said I didn't bring up that part, but she had a thing about staying in the lines, and staying in the lines, and we were playing Monopoly. And she was all messing. I go, Cheyenne, I said, you know what? I said, when I play Monopoly, I'd like all the fives, to stay with the 5s, the 10s, the 20s. Kind of like you like people to stay in the lines. And she's like, okay, Mom, you got a point. I said, therefore, we made a paper family.
Oh.
And the best thing in the world, one more thing, I'll close it out. This was like something that was amazing, is that, people were like, I was talking about what my kids don't have right. So I said, you know what, guys, you won't believe what happened. They're like, I don't know, Mom, what happened? I said, somebody told me that they were making me feel bad because you guys don't have XYZ, right?
Yeah.
I said, so, you don't have this and this and this. I said, so I figured that I'd come straight to you and, ask you guys, and they said, I don't remember. It was like a material item. They go, Mom, you love us and all that. That's all that matters. And oh my God.
There you go.
From that day, I decided to keep them instead of not. I'm just kidding.
I know. No, but you gotta love that. Like that's so true. You know, it's like, and they're trying to like people that like to gaslight and say, oh, you know, you're not doing this, yeah. One part of it, you know, ask the kids. Ask the kids. What do they want? What do they
They
think?
will give you the truth.
Right.
Trust me. Okay, been in stores several times, and I told my daughters, when you get a job, make sure it's something you're happy with. We're at the grocery store checkout line, and they said, Mom, that woman's not happy with her job. I'm like, oh, shoot. I was trying to figure out where I could hide.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, well, I was like, oh gosh, you know, let's hurry up and get out of here.
Oh yeah, but you were mortified.
I mean, but when we tell our kids to tell the truth, and when they do, I didn't embarrass. Well, kind of not really embarrass me, but they didn't get in trouble for it. They got an ice cream cone. And then one more thing, you know, my son with special needs, he had all the tubes, he had all the things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we would go to his appointments. God. And my youngest daughter, Cheyenne, they were having a hard time finding his vein. They were doing blood draws to check his phenobarbital level to keep his seizures under control. And she goes, move out of the way. I know how to calm him down. She ran her fingers through her hair, and she absolutely did it. And then on the same time, as we were in the waiting room, this lady goes, what's wrong with him? My 5-year-old daughter says, nothing's wrong with him. What's wrong with you? I'm like, oh God. I checked out and we bailed. I was like, if he was in a wheelchair, he probably would have like flew down the stairs. But I've taught them to be true. To tell the truth. And if it hurts adults' feelings, oh well, I don't care.
Right.
But what happens when we tell the truth now? We get treated like criminals. So
I know.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell has the world come to?
But yeah, I mean, and then you know, what if something
locked up by a few kids?
Huh?
They always take me. I said I've been locked up by a few kids. These little girls.
Me too. Oh gosh.
Me and like put me in the other room, and they'll be like, "Okay, you're in jail, and you can't come out until."
Oh, I love that. Yeah, like when they're playing and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was the best part is when I was getting mad. I'm like, I go and I shut the door. I'm in jail. They're like, yeah, you get out now, bang. And I'm like, no, I'm in jail. I put myself in jail.
Oh man, I love it. That's awesome.
What's a funny thing or a fun thing you can remember about your kiddos, Jessica?
Yeah.
My sister fed my daughter a beetle one time, and I almost shit myself because I was very OCD about bugs. I was like, stay away from the bugs, Ginger, stay away from the bugs. I didn't want a spider to bite her or something like that, you know? And she was very interested in bugs at first. So my sister one night when we were standing out on her porch, just grabbed a beetle off my chest and handed it to my daughter and said, put it in your mouth. And she ate it.
And she ate it? She thought she was serious? She just went for it? Oh, wow.
Okay, you prompted me in another memory just really quick about, like, because I talked about my youngest. Let me talk about my oldest daughter because she
go for it, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because she's like, you love her more than me. Okay, so anyways, my daughter was young. I can't remember how old she was. She liked to pick up spiders. So I made a deal with her. I said, if I get you a spider, which was a tarantula, we stopped picking up weird spiders. And she's like, yeah, we got her a spider. Well, I ended up taking care of it. And when we moved over, her name was it Shella? Or I think it was Shella or Stella. Okay.
Oh.
And she was a rose-haired. And so when we
love
moved
spiders.
over, she was so big, and she I was still afraid of her a little bit, you know. But anyhow, so when we were on the West Coast, we left in Washington State. We were coming over here from Washington State. We drove over to Indiana.
Oh,
I had the kids in the van. I had 2 hamsters. I had a tarantula. And the tarantula got out one night. Okay. Oh boy. I was like trying to drive him. Oh my God, the thing's under my feet and it's in my hair. So, but it got her to stop picking up. I mean, she's like, hold it. I'm like, put it down quick. But yeah, so anyway, good times. So,
I swam with one on my head one time in a pool in California because it looked like it wanted to swim. I was drunk. I'm not going to lie. I was a teenager. But
okay, well, I mean, well, like, what did you do after that? What happened? How did you notice it?
I can't talk about that on air.
Oh.
All right. Come on, it's open mic night.
Well, maybe that story's a little inappropriate for the air, probably. Is what I'm thinking, right?
Okay. Well, I thought it was going to a karaoke bar that's open mic night.
Well, I can't wait to hear that story off camera when we're on the Zoom later.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me like an hour or two, guys, and we'll after we end the live, and we'll start a Zoom and then we'll touch base.
Okay, so like I got 4%, so I'm gonna finish my dinner since she was talking about sandwiches and then Jeopardy
Right.
and like I was like, oh cool, they're playing games too, Jeopardy and karaoke. Okay, so
Sounds good.
what?
Huh?
I said you could still sing though.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, no. We'll have Steven do it. Or like my daughter Cheyenne, I'm gonna play one of her songs. Oh my God, beautiful, beautiful. But we gotta go because Steven does.
I gotta wrap up the show. I know we did it. We got a good show today. We did 2 minutes and 32 or 2 hours and 32 minutes. Perfect. I love it, and I love how we introed your little segment. That was perfect. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was great.
You guys, last call for any fun. Thank you. You run my evening.
Sounds good. Thank you everybody for jumping on, and we thank you, Jessica, and we'll keep you guys posted, and we'll have a promo for next week's episode. I know we didn't have one this week because we were kind of doing things last minute, but we will for next week for sure. Thank you everybody. We'll have you on if you're able to make it next week, Jessica. We'd love to have you on too.
All right, great. Thanks.
So you know what? Wait, one more thing. We're going to do a random surprise one of these again.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be.
We're going to do them random. I think that would be a great way to keep the audience engaged. So you'll never know when we do it. It'll be spontaneous when we have a guest plan that they're unable to make it. We'll just go for it. And then that way we'll keep people.
Or we'll just do it to do
you have to watch. If we do it, you have to watch our episodes for a lot, to catch it. If you want, but that's how we're gonna do moving forward. We're gonna do spontaneous open mic nights.
Oh yeah, and then when you put it on disc, like on actual disc, if you ever put it on disc, you could put like those as the secret episodes.
Yeah, totally, totally. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Oh my God, we've been putting out like 3 shows a week, and I think I just surpassed like 100 and something rumbles already. So like I'm just for the tips, techniques, and survival traits alone, we've already got 22 episodes done. That's damn near a season.
Right. Hang on, you guys. Tell them how many people have seen or
the site.
I don't know. Yeah, like, but you said like you told me like 20 something.
Oh yeah, we just surpassed. That was last night. We just surpassed 21K hits on the site this morning or last night.
Holy
so we're growing big. We're growing fast. Let me share my screen real quick, and I'll show everybody.
Can you translate that? What is it? 20?
I'm going to show viewers right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I couldn't remember.
Right. Oh, it's gone up since I last checked it. It's 21,020 hits already.
Good. It should be watching the actual news because that shit's fake anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, I think everybody's hit to that now, and that's why we're seeing my platform blow up. We're seeing other people's platform that are in this and alt media, or like what I like to call the new media. We're seeing their shit blow up. It's just like everybody's coming to us now, and it's like our shit's just taking off. It's like it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight to behold, because what that tells me, just from the numbers alone, is that the vast majority of us are awake and aware.
That's right.
And what they're telling us is the truth, is the case is not at all the truth. I suspect that many of these Twitter accounts are just bot accounts, just to make it look like they have supporters. I really believe that.
And it means that she was right. You are making a huge difference. One person.
Yep. It only takes one, folks. It only takes one. because you never know, you might inspire somebody else that you might inspire them to really do. Somebody that actually has the means to actually make a difference on a grander scale, that maybe you will inspire somebody that actually has, that is passionate, that they just need that little push, and that's how that works. It only takes a few courageous individuals speaking out against tyranny to change the course of history. And we have that quote on our site too, and I love that quote because I think it's so relevant. I'm going to read that real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. It only takes a few courageous few courageous people to speak out against tyranny to change the course of history. These are the times when heroes are born.
That's right.
Yes, and one more thing as well is that when you're light, let me take the camera. So that's a drawing that my oldest daughter did, by the way. When you show, and I will not ever delete it. When your light shines so bright, that gives other people that that doesn't give them a choice. It starts to reflect on to them. When you're I mean, have you ever been like, you're so happy it rubs off, and you never know when you could be somewhere and just smiling at somebody saves them from killing themselves, suicide, depression. I remember times like that.
Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. You're so right. And can I give you guys a real life example? I'm going to tell the story I told you yesterday, Jen, about my nephew's teacher, his 5th grade teacher. Okay. So apparently we were doing our 5th episode of Tips, Techniques, and Survival Traits back in like February, right? Called the CV-19 Narrative Crumbles. And so his teacher's from Guam, and she was telling, and come to find out, I share with the work I do with my nephew because I think it's important the kids be aware of this stuff and know what's going on. And so he's a really smart kid, and he had already heard the podcast, but apparently he was in class and his teacher was watching it, and I guess I dropped the F-bomb in the broadcast, and the whole class heard it and looked up, and she was like, "Oh, I should put my headphones in." But my nephew recognized my voice, and he's like, "Oh, that's my uncle." And she said, "Really? Your uncle's a hero?" And then so basically he told me the story, what she told him. So that episode that we aired, it gave her family in Guam hope. And they were at a point of being suicidal because of how bad the lockdowns and stuff were. They didn't have any hope. And she said to him that broadcast, when she shared it with him, it gave them hope.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. And that was the kind of impact we all had made just after our 5th episode of Techniques and Survival Traits. So we know we're making an impact, and and that's in my local. That's just feedback from my local community on a personal level, not even online, just in my local neighborhood that I know people.
Wow, Stephen.
I want to help the little kids in Africa. I feel bad for them, and I can't help them do anything.
Well, I feel really bad for the children.
Starving.
I feel bad for the children at the borders as well. But anyway, so we'll have more of that on later, where we're actually going to have a very, very amazing guest. That now, guess what? He and they are going to show you what you can do to take action. So
yes.
There'll be no more excuse why. What can I do? Because we're going to show you what you can do.
Exactly.
So with that being said, I got 4%.
All right, Jen.
I muted my mic and I turned off my camera. I'm going to go charge it up.
African charity and everything, and he sends some tools and things like that to Africa, but it's not enough because there's this kid that's even, he's lost his little sister recently, and I talked to him before. I've even on video chat, and he showed me his family. He's got about 6 sisters and brothers, and he just lost his littlest one because they are starving because their mom died, and they have no way to get any help, and nobody will help them. And I'm just like, I tried so hard to get him help. I feel so bad, and there's nothing I can do anymore. I feel like.
I know.
There's children that are at the border that their parents drowned in the Rio Grande River, and they're unaccompanied by themselves. So can you imagine you're coming into but that's it. Okay, happy time. You know what?
We're going to cover a lot of that because our guest is going to be telling us that story when we have him on next week. So look forward to that. We're excited. We're really excited to have him on because I really admire the work he's doing, and I'm looking forward to that interview for sure.
One more thing is the crazy people that think they can change the world do.
Yes.
All right. Peace out, everybody. Like,
Fucking Grease and Apple. Wait, peace, Grease, and what was it? No, it's freak. My buddy says it all the time. I can't. I botched it. I was gonna do it, but I couldn't. I messed it up. Anyways, have a great night, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels and follow our pages on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and now Telegram. We will be back next week. We'll also be doing our next week Friday episodes of tips, techniques, and survival traits. And I think we're going to do Fringe Division again this week. We're going to resume that as well because I know I took a break from that last week. So we got some exciting content coming for you guys.
All right.
I've got something planned. Just
Sweet.
saying.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you everybody for jumping on that participated. And we will look forward to seeing you all guys next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen. Good night.